So hello there and welcome to another album review of The Shield in a Couch. I'm your host Hector, and tonight we're going to talk about a debut album by a band that I just interviewed last week. They're called Tribunal, and their debut album is coming out on 20 Bucks Pink Records, and it's a great one. Here's the album cover. It's called The Weight of Remembrance. And if you look at this album cover, you can tell that this is a doom metal album. But this band in particular plays doom metal with some cello in the mix, and that makes them very unique. And also, there's a lot of like goth sounding music in this band. The band, is from Canada, and they're really good. This album has 7 songs, and it's kind of a long affair because it has 7 songs, and like the last song is like almost 13 minutes long, and you can really tell that for a debut album the band really put a lot of effort to it. So for those of you that don't know Tribunal, because they're a new band, they have 2 members. They have a classical trained cellist and bassist vocalist, Soren Morn, and the guitarist vocalist Etienne Finn. And Etienne Finn does more of the like more black metal, like sinister vocals. And Soren Morn does more of the clean singing, and her style of singing is very, it sounds a lot of me like 70s rock mixed with doom. And the cello is used here in songs to build ambience and a mood that really carries out through the 7 songs that the album has. So, is the album that solid for me? Yes, it is. I think that for a debut album to be memorable, you need different elements. You need, first of all, great songs, which this album has. You need solid production, which this album also has, and you need something to make it stand out. In the case of Tribunal, that's the cello, because that's an instrument that is not usually used in heavy metal. So having it in a doom goth setting makes sense because it makes the songs really, there's parts of the songs that really, without the cello, like there's something missing. So it's that extra layer that gives it more depth. And that's why I think they're so good. So the 7 songs, the first 2 songs of the album, Initiation and of Creeping Moss and Crumbled Stone, are almost 8 minutes long, both of them. And they're very impressive. For example, Initiation starts, you hear like some bells and like a little bit of bells and a little bit of not rain, but it kind of reminded me of Black Sabbath's first album, Black Sabbath, the song that opens the album with that sinister like riff, and the rain. That Initiation does that for me. It has that same type of feel that you hear those bells and you hear that eerie gothic doom sound, and you know what you're getting into. And on this song, they use clean vocals. They use the more black metal vocals, and the cello is used in a way that really complements the song and makes it a standout track and a great album opener. The second track of Creeping Moss and Crumbled Stone, it's a faster tune, and I liked it because I think the vocal melodies here are very 70s proggish meets doom, and it makes it really good. And the third song, Apathy Skip, is the single that they used. And on that song, I think the cello is front center throughout the whole song. It's like a 6-minute song, and it's so beautiful, the singing and the way it builds the atmosphere. It feels pretty melancholic in a way. You can feel the sadness in the lyrics and the way that they're sung. Then the album, for me, it's divided in 2 halves because the fourth song, Remembrance, is more of like a piano track without vocals, and it paves the way for the second half of the album, which has 3 more songs. It has A World Beyond Shadow, which is a song that it's a little bit faster, a little bit heavier. Without an Answer continues with the heaviness, but The Path, which is the album closer, at 12 and a half minutes, it's really something very special. The way they blend every element that they've done, it's like the perfect album closer. And even though it's 12 minutes long, it doesn't feel that long. You really feel like the ambience, and it takes time. There's a lot of build up in the song, but it's worth it. It's good to mention that even though they have two main members, they have other talented musicians, including drums by Julia Gammon and additional drums in Apathy Skip by Magdalena Winsky, and the piano in Remembrance is by Klein Lamb. And they have an additional vocals by Rory Say. So the album has some other people that contribute to it, but the main players are the singer and the guitarist, which I mentioned, Soren and Etienne. They are the main players in this album. And again, this is a debut album, and when you have a debut album that is that strong, it can be a blessing or it could be a curse, because now the pressure's on the band. But I was really impressed with this release. As I mentioned, I did interview the band, and we go more in depth about what the album is about. We also talk about the themes on the album, and we talk about how they incorporated the cello into these songs and how they just thought, let's do it. So please do not sleep on Tribunal, The Weight of Remembrance. This is a solid album debut from a band that should be on your radar. So what do you think of Tribunal's album, The Weight of Remembrance? Did you just discover a new band right now? If so, listen to Apathy Skip or the other singles and let me know, what did you think of them? What are your favorite tracks? And what are some other like doom metal bands that you enjoy that do experimentation? So if you like the videos I'm putting out, do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to give me a like. I have more content on the way. And until next time, this is Hector, the Shield Dude in a Couch, and I'll see you right here on the couch. Thank you and good night.